Hola from the west side. It is me, DCThePurpleDiva. Welcome to Not So Random Chat. Happy Tuesday. Well, it's still Tuesday here on the west side. Ooh, Cass Life came through. Hey, Cass. I appreciate the love. Y'all, this COVID-19, whatever you want to call it, is no joke. It's no joke. I don't know what causes it. You know, people can call it 5G. They can call it whatever they want to call it. But I personally know people who have had it. You know? And know people who have succumbed to it. And the crazy thing is that, you know, there are people who are asymptomatic walking around with this stuff. Especially our younger people. Especially our younger people, y'all. I'm gonna create a post because you know how YouTube does not let y'all know I'm on. Come through for Tuesday Talk. And let folk know I'm on. Come through. I cannot spell. Alright, there we go. So, you know, my son's a little antsy, you guys. So his dad had tested positive and was in the hospital. Hey, uppity. But he's out of the hospital. He was in the hospital, then he was out of the hospital, then he was in the hospital again today. But he is out of the hospital. But my son, you know, you think people with autism who are probably not like the most verbal people don't understand things that are going on, but he understood exactly what was going on because he had, you know, talked to his dad, and his dad could hardly talk to him. And so when I, you know, told him that his dad was in the hospital, because his dad made me tell him, well, his dad wanted him to know. So I agreed. His whole demeanor changed, and he was kind of like out of it for the rest of the day. He's seen his dad. His dad is, you know, home. He had a video chat with him for like a few minutes, so that's all cool now. But, you know, this stuff is real, y'all. And it is not any joke. Not a joke by any means. So, those of you who have to go out and be out, hey, misunderstood, and be out, just be careful. You know? I mean, I believe some people are immune to it and won't get it no matter what. But everybody's not that person. So just be careful. You know, we want people to live their lives, but we want people to be careful too. At least until they figure out what the heck this is. So we have the DNC convention tonight officially has named Joe Biden as the Democratic nominee for president. It's official. I thought it was kind of cool that they did did some biography of him. You know, just kind of giving people more of an idea of his upbringing. But you know, I'm not excited about this presidential election at all, but I am going to exercise my right to vote. Okay, you guys, yeah, that sounds a little antsy right now, and hopefully he gets it together soon. You know, hopefully he gets it together soon. Matter of fact, let me see if he wants one of his melatonins. Hey, Psycho Ducky. Haven't seen you in a minute. Good day, mate. Haven't seen you in a minute at all. But yeah, I mean, are you guys excited about the presidential election, or are you just concerned? Because I'm concerned. I'm concerned. You know, and my major concern is we have dismal choices, in my opinion. I wanted to talk a little bit more about Miss Kamala Harris, though, y'all. Now, I don't normally listen to certain YouTubers in the black space, simply because their programming is a little bit crazy. But I happened to catch, I guess it was a replay maybe, that ended up in my recommendations. Don't know how the hell it did that, but it was a recommendation for Tommy Sotomayor. But it was in regards to Kamala Harris. And apparently at some point, she only aligned herself, and this is in recent history, last year, that recent, aligned herself with being of Indian descent. And then 2 seconds later, not literally, but you know what I mean, she talked about she's black and she's always been black. But excuse me. So, but she's Jamaican, part Jamaican, half Jamaican, and in Indian. And I've never seen this woman even give an inkling of pride in her Caribbean roots. Okay? And that would be the black part of her. Now, I'm not going to get into, Donald Trump and his stupid birther issues with her, because she was born in this country, and it doesn't really matter if neither one of her parents were born here. She was. Therefore, she meets the criteria to be vice president. She meets the criteria to be president. She's old enough. She's 55. But my issues with Kamala are with her treatment of black people and how she has shown herself to see black people. She's only black when it's convenient. Y'all know those types. Those types. In New Orleans, where my mama's from, they call them passe blancs. She never really tried to pass for white, but she She hasn't embraced her blackness either. And keep in mind that the blackness that is in her is Caribbean blackness. Very, very different from American black. Trust and believe. And I don't know how much in her upbringing her father had to do with that, because she don't talk about him too much, even though he, I believe, is a professor. You know, highly educated, as is I believe her sister. Just based on the stuff that Tommy was saying, and I'm sure you can go look this up, was involved with the Hillary Clinton campaign. Her sister is also an attorney, I believe. Black in the U.S. is black. Yeah. But it's like, here's the thing. Y'all know the wild thing is that all other black people just go by their nationality. Like her father says he's Jamaican. He don't say he's black. It's just he's Jamaican. You know? Those from DR say they're Dominican. Those who are Haitian say they're Haitian. Those that are a Cuban, now they'll just say that they're Cuban. It is only those of us in the United States who are black and Cuban that identify as Afro-Cuban. Only us here, you know. But yeah, outside of here, everybody else just deals with their nationality. So, her dad, like I said, is Jamaican. But, I looked at pictures. The man's black, you know, fair skin, like many, there's half of the Jamaicans are fair skinned, half of them aren't. He's one of the fairer skinned ones. Hey, Joe. But, like I said, it doesn't appear to me, that Kamala is, a sister. She's a sister when it's convenient for her. How about that part? I mean, now she is in one of the Divine Nine. I'm not going to take that from her, you know. But as I said to you, as I've said on many occasions before, our organizations are not exclusively us. We will embrace people of other races as long as they embrace the principles of our organizations and understand that our organizations are primarily, for uplifting us. But yeah, because I've told you guys about one of the freedom riders who is a Delta and is white as the driven snow. But she believed in in the ideals of our organization, and that's why she's a Delta. But going back to Kamala Harris, I still think she's problematic. Because we're still waiting for her to address how she handled Black people in the state of California. And how she handled them suggests the way that she saw us. In other words, she didn't see herself as the same as us, Black Americans, you know, whose, mama and daddy and grandmama and granddaddy, etc., you know, are descendants of slaves. I'm just saying it's problematic. I don't know how she's going to address it, but she's going to need to talk about it. None of that came up, of course, in the DNC. It was all about getting people to feel warm and fuzzy about, voting for Joe Biden. Bernie Sanders did his speech yesterday. Michelle Obama did her speech. I mean, this is a very interesting DNC that we went through. All virtually, where you can see all these people in their living rooms clapping and and unless you were not watching network TV, you got to see it. And it was all over YouTube as well. Hey, Cooking Enamo. How are you? I haven't seen you in long, long time. Thank you for coming. Thank you so much for coming. I'm looking for something. I can't seem to keep up with stuff up in this house. So, I kind of haven't been looking for a place the last couple of days. I've been looking, but not actively looking. Like looking online and pulling a couple of places, but I hadn't been actively looking because of, I had car issues at the end of last week and basically had to get a whole new set of tires. And it's just been plain hot here in California, in SoCal. It's still it still feels like it's around 80 and it's nighttime. And I live near the beach. But it's still around that. I mean, right now it's actually cooler outside than it is in the house with all the windows open. I'm thinking I should just turn on the air, but y'all will probably hear it because I don't have one of those, soft, hush air conditioners that you can't hear. I got one of those loud ones that everybody can hear, but thank God for air. Thank God for air. Hey, Matt, did I say hi, Matt? I think I said hi. Yeah, you know what, misunderstood? That's my thing. She's not Black. She's East Indian and Jamaican. And she was born here. Okay? But, just like 44, 44 was African, Kenyan, and, whatever his mom, white. But he technically wasn't Black because he was not a descendant, you know, that's what we want to call ourselves. We want to call ourselves African American. We want to call ourselves Black. I just use Black because African American, you know, was a term that was thrust on us, and it's cool and all of that and everything. But if you really think about it, it's foolish for those of us who were born here and happen to be Black to call ourselves African Americans. Because technically, it should have something to do with, you know, the actual country that you're descendant from. Africa is not a freaking country. It's a continent. So, since I have no idea if, you know, if I am of Senegal descent, Ethiopian descent, Ghanaian descent, you get my point? I'm black. I'm cool with it. I mean, I know that part of my family is from Cuba, so I can say that I'm Afro-Cubana, Afro-Cuban, and I do actually speak some Spanish. I don't speak as well as my dad, but I understand everything. That part, you know. But I don't speak as good as my dad, because he's, well, I don't know. I guess, yeah, even now I think he uses Spanish all the time, even at work, you know. So he was, hey, Chef Orel. So, Kamala has lots to talk about for us. I just wonder if we're going to get any of that conversation in the next, 90 days? I wonder. Now, what's in Mr. Biden's favor is that a lot of Americans are really pissed off about the handling of the pandemic by this administration. And although technically 45 is not responsible for people losing their jobs, he is held responsible via the way he handled the pandemic. And it is what it is. That's people are blaming him for everything in regards to that. But he's rightfully blamed for his, handling of the pandemic. He handled it horribly. He, the way that he handled this, all he did is prove the case for why we need to have a national health program. All he did is prove the case for that, in my humble opinion. Foreigners sometimes get tricked into believing what they say about American-born black people. I know. But we are not all that, this stereotypical whatever it is that y'all think. That's not what we're all about. We ain't all here blaming, the white man for everything, and we ain't all on welfare. We don't all sit around getting high. And we don't all come from one parent households. Can the church say amen? Okay? But, shiftless, lazy, good for nothing, that ain't us. Now, of course, that would be a stereotype that's out there. Hey, Miss Mahogany. How are you doing? How has online school been for you guys? I'm hearing that that they're getting hacked into some systems in some of the areas of the country, and so kids are having hiccups going to school online. Don't even. Don't. Don't. One moment, y'all. I'm just gonna put myself on mute for just 1 second. I'll be right back, you guys. One moment. Alrighty. I'm back, y'all. I had to have an offline conversation with my son. 5 days a week. So you're okay. So for you guys, it's going good, but some of these kids are having hiccups. Hackers are getting into these servers, where the kids are pulling their lessons and stuff from. And then some people don't have secure systems in their homes. These are things that the schools should have made sure that they had firewall protection, all of that. They can't just assume, that the parents know how to take care of that if they didn't have internet in the first place. So yeah, we're having that happening in certain parts of the country. Thank you for all the hearts, y'all. 6 days. Wow. But that's good. Make sure that they're on top, because I I'm really concerned as to whether kids are going to get everything that they would have gotten if they were in the classroom, even if in a different, sense. And then, you do have some schools that have opened and had to close and then open again. Here in Southern California, it looks like the schools in San Diego may be able to open with in person classes if they choose to, or a hybrid thereof, because now that particular county has fallen below, you know, the minimum. They've had I think 5 to 7 days of no new cases. Meanwhile, Los Angeles County, I mean, it's come down some, but, it's still going on. And, we still have this kind of standstill as far as economics is concerned here. Yeah, another major university just decided to go online. University of Notre Dame. They just decided to go online. That's another university. My school, USC, had already made that decision, but my understanding is that the students are still, many of them are still here in town, because one of my girlfriends owns a house that's over in the area of USC that she rents out to students. Oh, you over there cooking, girl? What you cooking? Oh no, you're just saying hi to cooking. Misunderstood. I'm sorry. Yeah. So, and she told me, my girlfriend told me that she had to have a conversation with the young ladies that were going to be occupying the house. About just being careful. Um, and just the expectations of them, due to this now current situation. Especially since the 18 to 49, y'all are the group that are pushing the current figures, which is, crazy. Just crazy. They're getting ready for college now in junior high. I took college courses when I was in high school. They're taking them in junior high now. Wow. I know one of my cousins, one of my baby cousins. I call them baby cousins because they're like my first cousin's kids. So you know, they're younger than my son, you know. But one of them, she took courses in high school, and when she graduated from high school, she also got her associate's degree, and she graduated ahead of her brother and sister, who were a year ahead of her, because she only had to do 2 more years when she actually went to college, and she did. So she graduated, and then her sister graduated. She graduated, I think, like a semester or two ahead of her older brother and sister. Yeah, but they have so many opportunities. A lot of these colleges offer these a lot of classes for free, and they don't have prerequisites. And some of these kids take those classes online, because if you go to Corsa, is it Corsica? Corsa? I think it's Corsia.com. You can find free classes all the time from all the major universities online. Because I took a guitar class from the Berklee School of Music, a 6-week guitar class from the Berklee School of Music for free. They have coding classes, they have engineering classes, they have everything, all different kinds of curriculums for free. Yeah, I know. They keep renaming black since the classification. Well, I don't know how many of you guys actually looked at the census, filled out your census, but on the census, there's you got all these different things. You have many classifications racially that you can put yourself in. Um, and if you're black, you can put all these other things along with it. Because I did. I put everything that I am. Let that mess with their heads in the census. You know, because I mean, the area that I live in, they're trying to gentrify this area. They are trying to push the black and brown out of this area, because this area is close to that freaking stadium. So they don't want us around, SoFi. But I'm sorry, it's in a city that is primarily black and brown. So get over yourself. But the mayor of this city doesn't give a damn about black people. And he's black. Don't care. He's all about the money. Oh, I know. Yeah, no, no, no. Yeah, and see, that's the thing with Spanish. They don't even have as many. It's like we have so many more words, and we've got all of these other grammatical rules in English that don't exist in any other language. And there's many words in English that there is no translation. So no matter what language you're speaking, you're going to say the English equivalent. Like, like Coca-Cola or McDonald's. They just say the name brand. But yeah, I don't I used to speak it a lot better because I was speaking it a lot more. Now I don't really have a whole lot of people to you know, thanks to COVID, to be speaking with. But, me and my dad talk in Spanish. He makes all of his kids talk to him in Spanish. He's cruel like that. Oh, yeah, Alec Baldwin. Yeah, he does a really good Trump. And then I think that one of the Baldwin brothers is a Republican. I think one of them is. I think one of them is a Trump supporter. Yeah, it's a big problem with his brothers. I think one of them is, which is crazy, but okay. You know, I guess somebody gotta be his supporter. I was thinking about talking about that. That was kind of crazy with Sweetie Pie. I know, killing her nephew. Yeah, killing his nephew. I know. I heard about that. I heard about that. Yeah, they're starting to talk about it on YouTube. I think Lovely T did a live about it earlier today. Um, I saw one of the channels in the Manosphere talking about it, and like maybe a couple, but we're gonna start to see people talking about that. They used to have one of their restaurants. They had one of them here, and yeah, it was in it was in Inglewood, like right around the corner from KJLH. But then it closed. When they had all those financial issues. Who was in the westerns with Mario Van Peebles? They did send out. My understanding is that most of the school districts were talking about they were sending out Chromebooks and you know those big, I guess, like not the iPads but the PC equivalent to it, tablets. That's what they were sending out to the kids. Um, People that I've talked to got them. I don't know that many people with school age kids anymore, but the ones that I talked to got them, and then my friends who are teachers, their kids got them. These are in LAUSD. But what about the school district in Detroit? What about the Flint school district? Where they were talking about they were having all those issues where half the school district was getting, the kids had everything, and the other half, which was the black half, was struggling spring semester. That's I'm just we as a country, in my opinion, are not where we should be education wise for our kids as it already stood. And I just feel that this is already is going to test us even further in making sure that our kids know what they need to know when they get out of high school. Because it doesn't make any daggone sense that a lot of our kids can't get into like the state colleges and universities in their own states. When supposedly, their schools are supposed to be college prep, aren't they? But maybe they aren't. Maybe that's the problem. Our, you know, we don't prepare our kids for college. We don't prepare them for life. Isn't that part of what's supposed to happen in education? Preparing them? Yeah, basically that's my opinion. All of these Chromebooks and tablets that are going out to these kids, it's theirs. Because we don't know how long this is going to be going on. And I told you guys about, like, I know Bermuda's a small island, but I told you about how that just kind of just blew my mind. How those kids, and this was back, this is, we're talking prior to 2009. We're talking about over 10 years ago. Those kids already had laptops from the first grade for school that was supplied by the public school. Personally, I think that the federal government needs to kick in regards to this, take some of that money from the Department of Education, and they should have helped in getting all of these, Chromebooks and everything to these kids. And then on top of that, I feel that Microsoft and Apple should have donated millions and millions of dollars of free computers as part of this. That's what I feel should have happened. Oh, Posse. Who do you know that was in Posse? I know someone who was in Posse. Cy Richardson. That's who I know. There's a homeschool program that we sent to desktop computers plus. Yeah, I think it's going to be a whole bunch of kids that are gonna be homeschooled from now on. That's what I think is going to happen. I think a whole bunch of kids are going to be homeschooled from now on. I know quite a few parents, that feel that way, and they understand that it's going to be harder to do it that way. But you know, at this point, there's a lot of parents that weren't that involved in their children's education and should have been, that now are going to have to take that active role in their children's education in order for their kids to succeed. I mean, even if, they're not there all day, they're going to have to, be involved in the prep work or something, helping them with getting, their lessons done. Many of us were doing this all along. I mean, but now it's if you don't, your kid is just going to fall behind. And I hate to say it, but I think that the kids that are in urban areas are going to be the most affected by this, as far as their education having holes in it for the 2019-2020 year, and then the 2020-2021 year. Hopefully, you know, if this becomes a permanent situation or a semi-permanent situation for the next few years, that they get it together. Our kids deserve that. They have a right to a basic education. Free. You know? They have a right to a basic education. And I think that this is something that many people took for granted, and now you're seeing it ain't that easy to educate our kids. It's not that easy. Another reason why the educators that are in the classrooms, not the administrators, should be more, should be compensated more than they are. Because even during this pandemic, many teachers are still going in their own pockets to make sure that they have what they need for their kids. Some of them are making sure that things get to their kids. You know, I see that a lot of places are still having the school drive, because even if the kid is going to school at home, they still need school supplies. Still need school supplies. There may not be the major need to go spend money on, a bunch of new clothes because they're going to be at home for most of them. But they still are going to be in need of some things. And a lot of parents are out of work or working less and don't have the money just for those things. So teachers are helping their kids out because that's what they do. Hey, Terry. Yeah, a lot of people. I mean, my best friend homeschooled all six of her kids until they went to high school, and they all went to regular public high school, but she homeschooled them up until that point, and it was their choice as to whether they wanted to continue being homeschooled or if they wanted to go to regular high school. Of course, all of them chose at that point, you know to go to regular high school because her kids were like stair steps, so they grew up together. So they are like super, super, super close, and even more super close because they went to school together at home. That's what what she did. That's what she chose to do. She made that sacrifice. I know uh, other friends of mine, if I had been able to make that sacrifice, I think that it would have been to my son's benefit, especially because he is on the autism spectrum. But I wasn't able to do that when he was growing up because I had to work, keep a roof over our heads. But I commend anybody who's able to homeschool their kid. It's a huge sacrifice for the parents, but it is so worth it for a lot of our kids' education because some of them just learn better that way. Some of them just learn better that way, you know. But I know a lot of parents that have no intention of their kids going back to school in a traditional classroom anytime soon. None of a lot of and these I'm not talking about people with kids in high school. I'm talking about the ones who have the grade school kids. You know, they feel that it will be better for them. What you guys are saying? Yeah, no, the world's not the same anymore. Nothing's the same anymore. Shoot, we gotta worry about this administration trying to keep us from exercising our right to vote if we choose to do an absentee ballot. And then we have a postmaster general who was trying to comply with this madness. Now, of course, the postmaster general is saying that nothing is going to change until after the election, but nobody trusts him at this point. So they want all the funding and everything that has been done as far as cutting certain services within the post office to be reversed and the funding to be put back in place. He's asking for a lot. I mean, yeah, people have already been picketing the actual residence of the postmaster general. They did it over the weekend. We should have the right. Now, I already told y'all how DC gonna do it. DC is going to fill out that ballot, and she is going to take it down to one of those voting centers. Because here in California, they have these centralized voting centers that we're going to have. Again, same thing they did during the primaries. They're going to do it again, you know, for the election. So there's like no excuse. You've got two ways to vote. And personally, if I were people, I would just do the the ballot and just drop it off at the polling place because that counts. The same way. Then you don't have to worry about it being postmarked because it's actually at an official polling place where they can accept your mail-in vote. At least that's the way they do it here in California. They may do it different in other states. I don't know. But, the most important thing is to vote. Please vote. Please vote. Please vote. Please vote. You know, I even if you didn't like either one of the choices, please vote. Please don't have it to be another crazy turnout where people just don't vote because they don't like the choices, and then we'll have 45 for another 4 years. Is that what you really want? Now, if you want 45 for another 4 years, well, hey, I don't. Oh, centralized voting. Okay, so here in California, in the different counties, well, a lot of the counties, what they did is that they have these centralized voting centers that are in each in specific zip codes, and it's an electronic. We don't. Yeah, now we now have the machines where you actually vote on a screen. So that's why they created these voting centers, and because they were changing the way that we vote, they now have they give people like 5 days up until the date of the election to cast their vote. So that's how they're doing the centralized voting. And I guess the objective is to not have the long lines on the actual election day, but that didn't help with the March primaries here in California because a lot of people simply didn't realize that they had 5 days to go and vote. So they went and there was long lines on the actual primary election day. It was crazy. I mean, when I say they were long, I'm talking about at the actual, like in the county that I live in, at the actual county recorder's office, there was a line that went around the corner, and these people were out there, and they had to let them continue. If they were already in line before 8 o'clock, they were allowed to vote. It was crazy how they did it. Yeah, but that's how they're doing it here. I know there's some other states that are doing the same thing. I believe Nevada did it. There's a few states that were doing it, and they tested it out for the primaries. So people would, be used to it or know what to expect, which is why, you know, I'm glad they give you more time because, you know, I was glad that I went early and did my voting because the machines were not as user friendly as they thought that they were. And then the people that were at the polling places didn't really know anything. So, yeah, they were very helpful. Not. That's how it was. Well, I'm saying by mail you should be able to do it by mail. The issue is that we have to have confidence in the integrity of the postal service to make sure that they postmark everybody's on time, and that they get there. And this particular postmaster general has not given us confidence in the postal system in dealing with the mail-in ballots. And two, this president wants to tamper with that and try to illegitimize the voting on ballots. I know. I agree with you in regards to that, Matt, but many of these senators are not even up for a re-election this year. So, really, if you're trying to get them out of there, we'd have to not have a Republican president going into the next 4 years because then that will make it easier to get them out of some of those, spaces that they now occupy to infinity and beyond, it would seem. All right, you guys, I'm going to come on so you guys can see me because I've been on for about an hour. Hey, everyone. Got my hair in a ponytail today. All right, here comes David. He wants to say hi to you guys. Come on, come on. I'm going to let you come say hi. Come on, say hi. Okay. Yeah, he's been kind of sad because his dad was in the hospital, but his dad is home now, so he's feeling good, right? Right. Feeling better. All right. All right, you can go. Yeah, he's so busy looking at the camera. He's so busy looking at the camera. He just wants y'all to see his face. All right, you guys. I will be back on tomorrow. I'm grinding on these hours, y'all. I'm trying to get it to that 4K. Whew. If I can get to 3K this week, y'all. If I can get to 3K this week, then that other 1,000 won't be so hard. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. So I guess I'm gonna have to do a few pop-ups I gotta figure out how to premiere like a video that's a bunch of videos. I'll figure that one out. Anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, I offer you guys peace and blessings from the West Side. Everybody remember to be safe. I'm not saying everybody got to mask up, but if you ain't masking up, just social distance. Don't get around other people because you don't know what they carrying. You only know how you are. You don't know about the person that's out there around you. Anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace until then. I'm out.